bringing hope the world over. Hope Channel.
What if we told you you could add 10 years to your life?
What if we told you you could reverse your disease? Would you believe us?
Here's a fact. Unforgiveness can tighten your muscles and give you discomfort, giving you a lot of headache, backache, and all of those aches.
But here's a secret. You don't have to experience all those aches. We offer you no fountains of youth, no miracle pills, no radical surgery. Just plain, simple, practical advice guaranteed to add not just years to your life, but life to your years. I'm Weanne.
And I am Mark. And once again, we would like to welcome everybody on another episode of Longevity Secrets.
Joshua Lieberman once said, "Inner healing can only begin with forgiveness. Forgiveness not just of others, but of ourselves."
That's true, Weanne. There are a lot of patients that attended the Need Health Ministries program, and they found out that they need to forgive some people before they could fully achieve what they wanted in their life, and that is to get well.
You see, Mark, when people hurt us, it does not cause physical scars, but it causes emotional hurt.
Yes.
And only when we choose to forgive can those emotional scars be erased and true healing can begin. So to tell us about how to forgive and how forgiveness can improve our health and prolong our life, we have Dr. Blecenda Varona, nutrition and lifestyle consultant of the Need Health Ministries.
Thank you, Mark and Weanne. And today we would like to show our viewers the perfect formula when it comes to healthy relationship. You know, you have to consider that health is not just the physical health, but we have to consider that it requires emotional health. Many people are sick right now because, you know, they can't actually handle the inner self. When we say the inner self, that is your emotions, and that is yourself. You have to discover the formula for loving, the formula for happiness, and you can't actually have that formula if you don't know the basic, which is forgiveness. So today I'd like to invite you, come join us in the healing wonders of forgiveness. Many people are sick, emotional sickness. And you know, emotional sickness actually make us really, really ill. You know, when you look at husband and wife, you know, husband, they are actually, they can sleep beside the enemy. You know, ladies like us, wives like us, we are real people because we can sleep beside the enemies. You know, sometimes we are being hurt by the husband, you know, emotional problems are happening between marriage. But you know, the wife can't actually sleep and we cry the whole night. And when we look at the husband, you know, sometimes the husband would even snore beside the crying wife, and that actually starts the problem. Now, this is actually a gender difference. You know, ladies would like really to speak a lot. You know, we have words in us. We have to really release our words. And you know what? My husband's really happy because I am a health lecturer and I talk the whole day. And when I come home at night and then I say, I'm tired of speaking. You know, so I'm challenging the ladies right now viewing our program. You really need to be a health educator so that you can release your words. You can really say it, you know, the whole day, and then later on at nighttime, you have only a few words to say to your husband, okay? So here is negative emotion that can actually make you sick. You have to understand that it's just right there. All you have to do is really manage it right. Now, I want to ask you guys, what is really your purpose in life? Maybe some of you who keep on watching our show, some of you would say, my purpose is to grow. There's a reason why I need that longevity secrets. And some of you would answer, oh, I want to connect. I want to see people, you know, sharing things around, and I want really to be connected with the show. And sometimes when I do seminars, I want to connect with other people. And for some of you who are watching the show, maybe you would say, I want to discover secrets of longevity, and that is actually secrets to live long. Okay, but some of you would say, oh, I just don't stop in there. I want to live, and later on, I want to love. But later on, you would say, when you reach certain age, you would say that, hey, it's not just living. I want to live a legacy. And it's when you live a legacy, you know, I personally believe you are almost in there. Now, forgiveness is actually the key to peace. And the Bible tells us that we really have to bear with each other and forgive whatever grievances you may against one another. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. And here is a story about Paco. You know, Paco, the name is Paco, and the father had misunderstanding. And you know, he was so mad to his father to the point that he went away. You know, he just, you know, went somewhere else. And the father was so worried about Paco and was looking for him. You know, he tried looking in the most familiar places for Paco, and he can't find Paco. To the point that he had one idea. And the idea was actually to make an announcement in the newspaper. And here comes the announcement in the newspaper. Dear Paco, meet me at 10 a.m. tomorrow in front of the newspaper office. All is forgiven. I love you, Dad. So the father was so sure that Paco will be there tomorrow. And he was so early, it was early in the morning, he was really preparing for the meeting of the beloved son. You know what? At 10 o'clock in the morning, the father was there in front of the newspaper office, and to his surprise, you know what? He saw 800 Pacos waiting for forgiveness. You know what, friends? Many Pacos are really waiting for your forgiveness. All you have to do is identify. It can be the husband Paco, or it can be your wife, it can be your children, it can be a friend, or it can be, you know, somebody so special to you. All you have to do is you really need to go there and then say, you are forgiven and I love you. So this is actually one of the secrets of this longevity. If you keep on, treasuring that hatred, that negative emotions, I personally believe, you know, malunggay is not effective for you. You know, we keep on teaching here malunggay, indigenous vegetable, and exercise, and water, and sleep, and all this. But if you have all these negative emotions, I personally believe you're missing the greatest point, which is loving. You know, and it's so hard to love if you don't know how to practice forgiveness. Okay, so we have assignments to do here when we end this show. Okay, so here, you know, many people are really hurt. You know, when I do my seminar in the Need Help, and sometimes the relationship becomes deeper and deeper, and later on I come to realize, and these participants become my family. You know, sometimes they become close to me, and later on I discover that many of them are hurt really. You know, they are hurt, and people are really, you know, they are depressed, they have brokenheartedness, they have fears, they have guilt, and they have self-pity, you know, they have self-centeredness, they are lonely. You know, when you have all these negative emotions, you know, even though you eat the right kind of food, still you will become sick. And later on, when they try to release all these negative emotions and find solutions, later on, they can breathe so nicely and they know what to do. And later on, the best thing really to do is to forgive. You know, this is an appeal to parents. Parents should reflect and pray earnestly to God for wisdom and divine aid to properly train their children that they may develop characters that God will approve. Many of us, you parents, some of you have hatred, but you know what? I'm the boss, I am the head of the family. But later on, for the sake of modeling your kids, don't show hatred to other people in front of the kids. You are the model. And the best strategy that we could do is actually teach them how to forgive. Now, how can you educate your children in the things of God unless you first know yourselves what is right and what is wrong? And it's really wrong to treasure all these negative emotions in us. And I personally believe that is the best legacy that we could give to our children. Let the children be taught that as they open their minds to pure loving thoughts and to do loving, learning to forgive and to be forgiven, and helpful deeds, that they are clothing themselves with the beautiful garment of character. And I personally believe that is the highest when it comes to achieving the best goal for our children and for our family. You know what? New psychological techniques can come and go, but love has passed the test of time. Many of you here keeps on saying that, hey, I'm right, and I am always right. You know what? But sometimes we tend to neglect the most important thing in life, and that is love. You read the books, and there are so many strategies. You know, you have to do this, step 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. But you know what? The best strategy sometimes is not in the book. And it's right there in the scripture. We have to forgive and we have to give, we have to love. And that is actually the secret when it comes to good relationship. I keep on saying that to love is more important than just to be right. You know, many of us, we thought that we are really right. No, we have already achieved this status in life. We have already finished our doctoral degree, our, education and all this. But some of you would think that that's the most or the highest goal in life. No, the highest goal in life actually is to learn how to love, because love is more important than just to be right. Many of us here, you keep on attending Longevity Secrets. You have learned so many things about diet, about the healthy diet versus the unhealthy diet. And when you go home, you impose. And then you force sometimes. And sometimes you really force everybody to follow your own lifestyle. You know what, friends? To love is more important than just to be right. When you go home, and when you prepare healthy diets, you prepare them, with love. And you teach them with love. You share things with love. And that is, I personally believe, the most effective way when it comes to influencing other people. But again, sometimes we thought that we are right. And, I'm right and you are wrong. Even in the relationship of parents and children, you're just my son, huh? And I am right. And you have to follow me. Sometimes I know, you know that you're really right, but to love is more important than just to be right. Sometimes that person hurt you, and you know that he really hurt you. But you know what? You're right. And he was wrong. But it's still important to love than just to be right. But one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead, I press toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called heavenwards. And you know what? Sometimes life is bitter. When life becomes bitter, don't be discouraged. No, sometimes life becomes bitter and you have all these negative emotions, bitterness and fear and anger and hatred. And you have all in there. But don't stop in there. You have to go process it. And you have to learn to forgive and accept the thing. And later on, by prayer and by trusting God, you would you'd have an openness in your mind, and later on you have you will be able to understand yourself, and you'll be sensitive again with good things, and you'll be free from this hatred, and you will develop growth, and you will develop healing, and later on you will become better person again. So don't stop in the negative, process it so that your life, bitter life, will become a better life. There was a study in the cocoon they have experimented the cocoon. And you know, these kind people help the butterfly come out from that covering cocoon. And when the butterfly was able to, you know, be freed from the covering, they discovered that the butterfly can't actually fly good. The wings were so weak. And later on, they studied that, you know, the struggle inside the cocoon could actually provide strong, you know, strong wings to the butterfly. That chemistry actually is preparing the butterfly so that the butterfly can, you know, can have strong wings so that it can fly so freely. You know, same, it's true with our life. You know, many struggles in life are just preparing us so that we can be strong person. You know, God has allowed all this, you know, to happen, but I'm sure God is not happy when we have so many struggles in life. But the struggles in life are sometimes happening, preparing us for a better life. And when you have this, you will be winners. And you can actually guide other people later on in life. You know, one time I was invited in Thailand of a friend. And you know, sometimes in not a Christian country, they have high rate for suicide. And then my friend told me that, hey, ate, you know, I'm so sorry because, you know, this room is owned, the previous owner had just committed suicide and jumped from this window. And it was actually a 15-story building. And you could still see, I could still see the trace of her hand on the building. And she said, you know, but, you know, she became so frustrated. That's the reason why she, you know, she committed suicide on this spot. And then she said, but you know what, ate, you know, I want you to learn my story because I want you to share this story to other people. You know what? She started telling her story, my friend, and she said, you know, I just discovered the whole story of my life just recently. You know, I was not the daughter of my mother. I thought that was my mother, but actually she was my grandmother. My mother was actually a 19-year-old when she got pregnant, a nursing student, and she started hiding me to the community, to her parents, and she started actually drinking abortion pills. But you know what? Even though that amount, you know, she drank that amount of abortion pills, but I was still there in her womb. She started wearing tight girdles and started wearing tight maong, and for the purpose of, you know, aborting me, but I was still there. You know, that became not successful, you know, and I was still there. You know what? After 9 months, she gave birth in the middle of the field, and it was an open field. And it was maybe 3 o'clock in the morning when she gave birth, and at 5 o'clock maybe she left me there in the middle of the field naked. You know, at 9 o'clock in the morning, the farmers going to their farms heard a cry. And it was actually a baby. And they searched for the baby. And they saw me, she said. You know, I was not covered anymore. I was not, you know, I was covered already. And I was covered with giant ants. So my whole body was really covered with giant ants. Even my nose are with ants, and the ears, and you know, the legs here was really eaten by the giant ants. You know, she was rushed to the barangay clinic. And in the barangay clinic, they started, you know, making some first aid on her. And it so happened that on that day, her mother went also to the school. And she collapsed in the classroom and was rushed also in the barangay clinic. And they met in the barangay clinic, and then the people said, oh, so you are the mother of this child. So you better bring home the child. You know, the father and the mother were forced to join together. And then it was actually a tragic experience, miserable relationship. And her mother committed suicide when she was already 5 years old. Now, when she was able to complete her story, she started knowing this when she was already in Thailand. And she started crying. You know, it was so bitter on my part. It was so painful on my part. You know, that's the reason why people around the barangay kept on teasing her when she was small and then shouting on her. You know, that's the reason, because they know the real story. You know, she started gathering all this, you know, anger and all these negative emotions. And later on, she was really praying, Lord, help me to forgive. And Lord, I can only be free from these negative emotions if you will really help me, give me what I need right now, and it's really forgiveness. And she was really crying and shouting to the Lord for forgiveness, until finally, when she woke up and realized things, I'm not really a worst person. I'm a blessed person. You know, I'm here with good life. And she started gathering things and gathering gifts to the relatives, and brought those gifts, went home to the Philippines, to the north, and gave all these gifts to the relatives. You know what? When she had already done that, she had already the good feeling inside, and she said, you know, the world wants me dead. She was saying this. The world wants me dead. Imagine that abortion pills. The world wants me dead. Imagine that girdle and that, you know, that tight pants. Imagine the ants. Imagine the wild animals around that field. And the world wants me dead. But I am sure, she said, that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. He had loved me with that everlasting love. He had drawn me with that everlasting kindness. And I can say that I am really blessed, she said, because He had knitted me perfectly in my mother's womb. That is the exact words that she mentioned. She told us, I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and I am not angry. I am a blessed person. I am happy because God has saved my life, and I have a purpose here on this earth. You know what? If you see her right now, she is one of the best teachers. If you see her right now, she's married to a very handsome missionary Canadian, and she's really blessed, you know. Imagine what had happened to her, you know, the abortion pills and all this. But if you look at her right now, she's really beautiful. And she's not just beautiful, she's a bright and smart lady. And I personally believe, really, God has perfectly knitted her in her mother's womb. All we have to understand here is He is really wonderfully made by the Creator. You know, I am convinced that life is 10% of what happens to us, and 90% how we react to it. Okay, friends, those of you who are watching us, those of you who have hatred in the past, this is the exact word for you. You must really be convinced that life is 10% of what happens to you, and it is 90% how you react to it. And I personally believe you will feel better later on in life when you discover that somebody up there is really watching and, you know, is being so good all the time to you. You know what? A little understanding goes a long way. And I'd like to ask you again the same question that I was asking earlier. What is really your purpose in life? Your purpose maybe is just to grow, yeah? You have to grow. And you really need to struggle sometimes so that you can experience growing. You need to connect, yeah, you need that. That's so healthy for you. And you keep on connecting both to not so good people to you, or both to those people who are really loving, who are really kind to you. You have to live, and you really need to follow a healthy lifestyle. And later on, when you have that, you have a healthy life, you have longevity, but you cannot be that happy. Longevity without relationship is nothing. And later on, maybe the answer is you want to leave a legacy. You know, one of my participants in the seminar, Actually, it was a cancer seminar, and I was so amazed because in that seminar, there were around 9 cancer patients. You know what? When I started the negative emotions, all of them, reacted and said, yeah, you know what? That happened to me. You know, I have here breast cancer because my husband really gave this. And the other lady said, hey, my at the other side, and my husband also did this to me. You know, they were cheated by the husbands. And you know, if you have this kind of seminar, it became so noisy. And here comes a lady, got my microphone and said, hey, ladies, easy. You know, that thing also happened to me. And he was around 66 years old. And he said, you know, when my husband cheated me and left me for Indonesia with other lady, that was also my age. But don't stop in there. You know what, ladies, you know, I was able to recover. I was able to survive. You know, at first, I was really shouting to God, Lord, help me to forgive because I know that I have 4 children. You know, help me to forgive this husband so that I can, you know, I can walk again. I can have a new life again. You know what? The next day, she was able to have a life again and then forget all the wrongdoings of the husband. And you know what? She started forgiving. And now she has good children, professional children, and you know, she is a very happy person, and she was able to forgive the husband. You know what? It's just a matter of accepting, you know, all things work together for good to us that love God, and all we have to do is, you know, accept what is life, and later on, do the best that we could do right now. Sometimes the life is not that better. Sometimes life is bitter, but you can turn it better later on if you keep on, you know, discovering the secrets of longevity, and that is good relationship. So friends, I invite you to venture on love and forgiveness, and that is actually the best formula for longevity. God bless you all.
Thank you, Dr. Varona. And to our viewers out there, we hope that you learned something about forgiveness today and that you'll make the choice to forgive the people who have hurt you or who have wronged you in any way. We guarantee that true healing will start when you do that.
Truly, knowledge is power. Without power, we won't be able to make the right choices to get rid of the worst disease of all, which is ignorance.
But remember that knowledge is not enough. We must apply the secrets of proper nutrition, exercise, water, sunlight, temperance, air, rest, trust in God, and forgiveness in our everyday life. But let's not just stop there.
Let's share these secrets with others so that they would benefit from it also. I am Mark.
And I am Weanne, inviting you to join us on the next episode of
Longevity Secrets.
Bringing hope the world over. Hope Channel.